Welcome to Peter and Ruffy's Football Show. We're live on PLZ Soccer's YouTube channel. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm Peter Martin. Tam McManus is with us, and our very special guest today, I'm delighted to say, is Motherwell striker Tony Watt. We've got lots to discuss, and of course you can contribute as well. If you hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel and hit the bell, then you'll get all the notifications of our unique video content. And of course, Monday to Friday, we're here at 4, and if you miss us, you can watch it at your leisure. There you are. I've covered all bases. Now let's talk about Scotland. Are you happy with it? Are there any positives you can take out of a 1-0 win against Moldova? Let's get the thoughts of the boys. Tam, you watched it. What did you make of it? We had chances.
Not clinical enough. I think the final third wasn't good enough. I thought some of the substitutions later on were pretty strange as well. You know, you put on Kenny McLean, I think, and David Turnbull was sitting there. I think you could maybe go and get the next goal, 2-0, 3-0. They were a poor side. You know, in the last couple of minutes, you know, the fans at Hampden are whistling for full time against Moldova. It's no good. As you said, we created chances, but got to score. Christie had a great chance. Wee Billy Gilmore had a great chance. You know, if you stick him in the back of the net, it's an easy night for you. But as long as it's 1-0, Moldova still had a wee sniff to get back into it. But didn't think it was a great performance, to be honest.
Yeah, listen, when you get the first goal, Tony, Lyndon Dykes pops up, perfect for a striker, 2 yards out. But you just got the feeling that maybe that was going to settle everybody's nerves, but slowly but surely the best chances are falling to the left backs.
Yeah, I think it was a good time to score the goal. Good goal for Big Dykes in about the box. That's where you get your tap-ins. And no, I think the main thing is they get 3 points. I think it did feel a bit like a practice match where everything went wrong in terms of the final product, the shots over the bar, and maybe the wee edge was off them because, I don't know, they've not played together for a while. But no, I think at least they won, but there is some stuff they could definitely improve on, I think.
Yeah, who have you been impressed with in that Scotland setup?
Billy Gilmore's the only name that can be said when you're talking about somebody get you off your seat and that. I think they've got a lot of quality throughout the squad. I think there is some really good players, but I'm going to say Grant Hanley away from Billy Gilmore. I think Big Granty, I played with him at Blackburn and I knew what he could do. I was telling everybody how fast he was, but he's looking so assured and he's looking like the Premier League player every time he comes away with Scotland. But I think everybody's got to say Billy Gilmore because he's a star for me. He's a unbelievable talent. The way he passes the ball and the way he dictates the games, it's like everybody says on Twitter, he looks like a wee Spanish player or Italian player the way he plays.
Yeah, I mean, it's a point there that sometimes maybe we're all a little bit critical. Maybe I myself have been overcritical, Tam, of the centre of defence. I think that's our biggest failing at times. If we had 2-3 central defenders of note, you know, Tony's mentioned Grant Hanley. Maybe we're just not appreciating him because, quite simply, it's such a glaring weakness in the squad.
Yeah, it is, and we spoke about it the other week. There's no really two that you can play every game. You know, I mentioned Miller McLeish, but I'm not talking about that standard. But yeah, 2 guys, you think that's your 2 centre-halves every game. You know, we chop and change all the time. Whether Tierney comes in and plays in there, or Hanley, or Cooper, McKenna came in the other night. So there's no really an understanding there between the centre-backs. I agree, Big Hanley's been decent. Big Hanley used to take a bit of stick, but I think he's a decent player.
Yeah.
But we need 2 in there that you can hang your hat on for every international.
Yeah, absolutely. Here's 5 things we learned from Moldova.
Here are 5 things we learned from Scotland 1, Moldova 0. 1. Patterson shines. The 20-year-old made his first start for the national team and brought a fresh attacking incentive down the right-hand side, creating Lyndon Dykes' goal. He'll miss tomorrow's game, but can be Scotland's right back for years to come. 2. Missed chances. Despite the 3 points, there was a sense of missed opportunity due to the amount of wasted chances. 16 shots resulted in just 1 goal. The Scots must improve in front of goal to beat bigger teams. 3. Gilmore commands. The deep-lying playmaker controlled the game and was awarded man of the match yet again. Despite his youth, he controlled the tempo and continued to break the lines with his progressive passing. 4. Back 3. The defence looked much more comfortable with Hanley in the centre, Hendry to the right and Tierney on the left. With 2 ball players in there, it's much easier for the team to get the ball up the pitch. 5. Open group. Scotland moved up to 3rd in the group, 2 points behind second place Israel, who beat Austria on Saturday. The group is now wide open, giving Scotland a good opportunity to finish 2nd and reach the playoffs.
Well, I think we've got to be guilty of not having this knee-jerk reaction to it. Obviously, you've added a bit of balance to it, Tony, by suggesting it's 3 points, and that's the most important factor. Have a look at the table and give us your insight into whether you think, we're in the box seat to try and finish second. Are we capable in your mind? I know we're capable. Can we do it? There's a better question.
Well, look at Denmark. They're running away with it. Flawless, you would say. I don't think they've conceded a goal. I think I seen yesterday. I don't know if that's true, but I'm sure it was them I seen. But for me, you've got to aim for second. And if Israel are second just now, Austria would have been your worry. But Israel are going and turning over Austria. Why can't we go and turn over Austria? Why can't we go and turn over Israel? Because the other teams on our level, Austria, are underachieving by the looks of that table. And I think the other team you should aim to get above, because it's achievable. I don't think Israel are a better side than Scotland. So second is, for me, more than achievable. Obviously, Wednesday night. What's the game?
Tomorrow. Yeah.
Tuesday night, sorry, I'm getting mixed up with the Ireland game. And it's a massive game for us, but you go and get the win, then it's all systems go.
Yeah. Listen, I mean, I want to be optimistic, Tam. I've kind of written off Scotland's chances of qualifying for the World Cup. Maybe I've just gone too early on this, but I'm looking, and the one great thing I like to hear ahead of a game against Austria is there's unrest in the Austrian camp. That's a surefire, good little bit of news for us, but it never really works out that way.
No, I think the biggest result the other night was Israel beating Austria. I mean, that has blown the second place wide open. I mean, I thought Austria were certainties for second place. That is 5-2 and all. It's an absolute down. I mean, nobody would have seen that coming. So I actually think if Scotland can beat Austria tomorrow night, that kind of knocks Austria out. I think it would then come down to, 10 points each with Israel and Scotland. I think it'd be head-to-head, and you've still to play Israel.
Yeah.
So, genuinely think that's a massive game tomorrow. Yeah. I mean, don't get beat, you're still got a slight chance. If you win it, you're right in amongst it for second.
Yeah, it's funny actually. I mean, I'm watching the feed and everybody commenting, we're going to lose to Austria. I've actually read that and edited it down because there are some people who obviously want to try and be a little bit more open with their language regarding our chances of getting this. No, can't take our chances, says the Silver Fox. Why draft in another defender when Declan Gallagher is sitting on the bench? Every time he gets selected, he never gets minutes. I think he's a good defender. Hugh Scott says, I don't like that we played 3 central defenders against Moldova. I get playing them away to Austria, but at home to Moldova, get an extra forward-thinking player on the park. Well, we did have. Hugh regularly makes some very good points. We did have some forward-thinking players, and the way we engineered a couple of the chances with some good passing and getting in the channels. I mean, Billy Gilmore's opportunity was a lovely little give and go, which almost resulted in it. Christie set off Andy Robertson. We played some nice touches.
No, I think if you look at it in a whole, people are getting restless because you're 1-0 against Moldova. England won 4-0 yesterday and people are still complaining. I think it's the expectancy, but I think there is positives to be took. I think Scotland can be better, obviously.
Yeah.
But the national team should be more optimistic. Steve Clark's took us to a major tournament. He got beat off Denmark last week, but Denmark, like I said, they've won 5 out of 5. They're a decent side. If you can go and get second place tomorrow, even a draw tomorrow, I don't think it's the end of the world. I think going away there, getting a result with Israel, still to play, I think it's achievable. You just don't want Austria to win and then become 4th in the group and you're chasing 2 teams rather than 1. See if you can keep Austria down a little bit, then I think it's a very positive.
Yeah, 3 players out. We're not going to have Nathan Patterson, Ryan Fraser or Kenny McLean for this one. Have we got enough? Paul McGinn has been called in as backup to Stephen O'Donnell. Were you surprised by that?
I was a little bit surprised. I don't think he's been the best of form this season for him. Great season last year and deserved his call up last year. This season, don't think he's been great. But I mean, you're looking at him, you're maybe looking at Ralston at Celtic, possibly was the other one that could maybe have come in. Ralston's, I think, in good form this season, but wasn't in great form the previous season. So I think Paul's a decent player, comes in, good professional, can play centre-back as well, right centre-back, can play right wing-back, right back. He's probably in for cover. I think O'Donnell will play.
Yeah, here's the choices actually of the right back that maybe people were looking at. You mentioned there Anthony Ralston, 60% of the people thought he might have got a shout. Calvin Ramsey, maybe a bit too early for him. Sean Rooney, and then lots of other suggestions in there from various fans of other clubs. But nevertheless, listen, right backs, who'd have thought we would have been talking about the right back position? We've got Stephen O'Donnell there. Here's a question. I wonder if you could, I've been talking about him non-stop with a number of people, Tartan Army people, just fans of football who are saying, oh, you know, Stephen O'Donnell, right back, you know, we've got to get better than that. I mean, I don't think, I think maybe we're a bit harsh on the boy because I think he's in there, he's available. He hasn't sold the jerseys for Scotland.
No, he's never let Scotland down.
And I think sometimes people are overly critical of him for
Yeah,
no reason.
Sods isn't a household name. That's it. That's what they want. They want a Nathan Patterson or they want a big name like an Alan Hutton type. But Sods has never let Scotland down, and you've seen what he's done against England. He's got energy. He's big. He's athletic. He can really do the job. And the main thing, Steve Clark knows him.
Yeah,
he's done really well for Steve Clark. So if he hadn't done so well and if he didn't trust him, he wouldn't have been in the squad. So no, I think I'm not worried about that position at all.
yeah. I like the one good thing about Stephen is his experience. If I've got one criticism of him is maybe at times, like every footballer at times, I think he sometimes thinks it's great to be here, whereas when you watch his performances, he should be there. Maybe we're too critical of him,
But definitely. I like him as well. Tony knows him more than me, but I think he's a cracking lad as well. Every time I've came across him, great boy, good professional, and he's never let Scotland down. That's the thing. You know, he's playing for Motherwell. Listen, they're not a massive club, you know, as Tony was saying there, but he's a good player, and he's in there. He's never injured. He's always available. And no, I think I was delighted for him after the England game because he was under a lot of pressure. After the first game, everybody wanted him dropped. Let's be honest about it. But he came in against England, he was colossal that night. So I think he shut a few people up that night. You just got to keep doing that. Yeah. Keep playing well.
There's no doubt Patterson's the future.
Absolutely, he's the future. But O'Donnell's, he's not 36, 37. You know, he's early 30s. He's no, you know, he's not.
He's hit 30.
Maybe he's not even 30.
Aye, maybe just.
Aye.
Yeah, I think so he's younger than that. But
he's
29.
He's in his peak.
Yeah.
You know, his peak years. So
he's a fit boy as well. Tam, he gets up and down the pitch very easily. It's not like he's the type of player who struggles to get back or that. He is.
I'm not being derogatory towards Motherwell because Motherwell, or you'll have to look at their performances over the last decade and beyond, the players, the standard of player they've had, but. You know, it's a situation where you've played for Scotland, you're at Motherwell, the calibre of player you are yourself, Stephen O'Donnell's there as well. There are some really, really good players there, and I think people maybe look and think, oh, it's Motherwell, but, you know...
I think the league's got better. I think Tam's obviously Hibs and does a lot of work for Hibs, but Hibs, Aberdeen, even Hearts this season, they're all improving.
Strengthened.
They're able to keep their players as well, which shows that they're getting stronger as clubs, and even us, like, we've got some good players and played Dundee last week. They're looking a decent side. I don't think Steve Clark will be looking at any teams thinking, can I pick somebody for there, because there's good players in every team. And no, I think people want Celtic and Rangers players in the team.
Yeah.
Because they support Celtic and Rangers, most of the people watching Scotland. But no, I think Sods he's never let them down, and for me, he'd be the right back.
Have you given up on Scotland?
No, not giving up, no. I say every interview after I score, everybody asks me, do you want to play for Scotland? But I just want to play football. I don't care if it's for Scotland or Motherwell or... When you're playing, you just want to play, and the day I hang up my boots, that'll be the day I retire for in. But no, wherever I get a phone call, I'll go. I think I've shown that with my clubs, haven't it?
Yeah, well, when I was looking at it today, just before you came in, I thought, wait a minute.
He's better clubs than me.
He's going for the record.
Close already.
He's been on loan.
He's using the space of 3 years as well, wasn't it? That's the mad thing about it.
Well, it's not bad if you were getting a signing on fee all the time, you know.
I thought I'd go ahead of the game and get my 10% everywhere.
See, Tam tried that for a number of times.
He keeps scoring goals. He started the season well. He's got 4 goals already. That's what I'm saying.
4 goals out of 9, you know.
Score every week, you'll not be able to get ignored.
But I didn't like, and no disrespect to Stephen Robinson, I didn't like you playing left side. I like you playing through the middle.
No, Robbo, to be fair, it's been more under the new manager. I've played left, but with Robinson it was more interchanging and more I'd play through the middle, but sometimes for myself left. And No, I just want to play for the team. I prefer through the middle. I prefer scoring goals, but I've probably been caught a bit doing too much work outside the box and wide, but I don't mind it. But selfishly and for the team, I should probably say, right, you do that, I'll go stand in the middle. And I know I can score goals, but my numbers probably have been more assists, but nobody counts assists. People say, oh, he scored last season, something like 7 goals in 35, but I get 9 assists.
Yes.
So 16 goal contributions in 35 games. It's actually nearly 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Plus your overall performance. But if you strip away the assists, 1 and 5 isn't great. But
what do you do then? As a striker then, you know, apart from, obviously, we'll ask you every time you score a goal, is Scotland realistic for you? Do you lift the phone? Do you send them a text, or do you just keep battering in the goals and hope Steve Clark notices you?
No, I'm not. I wouldn't chap down him. I think he knows, because he comes to our games, and I think he knows. But I'm not saying I should be in that squad. And
no.
Actually, I know
but it's up for grabs.
No,
there's places to be had.
No, but it's a good quality of player they've got in, and they're not picking people out of form.
Yeah.
Boy, Shea Adams he scored against Man U, but they gave it an own goal, which was harsh. Big Dykes thinks get 15 goals and assists in 15 games. Nisbet's going for 5 million. He's been ill and wee knocks, and he's still got 3 or 4 goals this season. Last season was on fire, so it's not like he's picking people just out of loyalty. In the forward positions, he's actually picking people who have got the numbers and in form.
Yeah.
And no, it shows. And no, I think if I go and score 4 goals for now to the next camp, then I could maybe be knocking the door down. But now it's probably a bit too early for me. I don't think I've consistently put numbers in through the middle. Like you said, I was playing left up until maybe 3 or 4 games ago, so which I don't mind, but I see myself as a striker, and if I want to be selfish and get in places like the national team, then I need to chap down the door by that's what gets you the money, gets you the headlines in the Monday morning, scoring goals, nothing else does.
Yeah, and of course with that, you know, we've already got people saying, well, what about Ryan Gauld as well? 4 goals, 4 games. Is he worth a shout?
Yeah, I think he is. Listen, as you said, I think the manager knows everybody who's available. You know, they've got scouts, they've got people keeping an eye on games all over the place. So Ryan Gauld went to Vancouver Whitecaps, played in the MLS myself. Listen, very, very strong league, good league. I think if he keeps scoring goals and playing well over there, it's going to come back to the manager, and he's going to get an opportunity. So in terms of Tony, we've just got to keep doing what he's doing. You know, being more selfish is I would give him advice, because as you said, you know, score goals. It doesn't matter really how you play generally, but if you get a goal or a couple of goals, all of a sudden you've got 10, 15 managers going like that, by he might be worth a look and get him in. We're struggling for goals.
Yeah.
No, definitely. And the one with Gauld, I don't think Gould's far away, but it's not as if they're lacking in the midfield. No. David Turnbull's not starting games, and he's got 7 goals or something this season.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They've got Premier League players in there, and I think Gauld will one day be a Scotland player. I think he's a very talented player, but I think also being away out the manager's eye in a different country probably makes it a wee touch harder for him. And David Turnbull's doing it underneath his nose. Cal McGregor's doing it underneath his nose. John McGinn's doing it underneath his nose.
Yeah, at big clubs.
Aye, so it's not as if it's slouches in front of him, which that's not any slight to Ryan Gauld, because I, for one, love the way he plays. I think it's quite similar to Gilmour. He's not the academy Scottish mould, is he? He's more of a Portuguese kind of player. Maybe not like Gilmour, a Spanish or Italian, but maybe a wee step down for that.
Well, maybe I think he could be a number 10.
Oh, I think he is. I think that's probably his thing. And now, last season, obviously, seeing his stats and stuff, he's starting to add goals and assists, including man of the match performances. You always see people retweeting it, and it's refreshing to see, because he definitely has a different option.
Yeah. What about Austria? It's a big game. It's massive. Possibly, as Tony mentioned, would you take a draw? Do we need to win this one? Our reporter, Gabriel Antoniazzi, has been out at the Orium today.
Thanks, Peter, and good afternoon from Orium here in Edinburgh. For the final time this month, I've just spoken to Scotland boss Steve Clark ahead of tomorrow's crunch World Cup qualifier against Austria in Vienna. And it's bad news in terms of personnel once again for the Scots. Nathan Patterson, Kenny McLean and Ryan Fraser all missed the game with injuries, whilst Paul McGinn is called up to the squad just for this final match.
Nathan and Kenny injuries from the game. Such a short turnaround. Difficult to get them back in time for this one, so they don't travel. And unfortunately, Ryan Fraser picked up a knock in training, which again with a short turnaround just means that there's no point in taking him, because he wouldn't be ready for the game. So losing 3 But I did say after the game the other night, and I wasn't making it up, I had 7 or 8 doubts. So losing 3 means that I've got 4 or 5 that have made it.
So Scotland come into the game third in the group, one ahead of Austria, who suffered a bruising defeat to Israel at the weekend. Their manager Franco Foda is now under pressure. Spoke to midfielder Callum McGregor. He thinks that they'll be right up for the game, and he said the most important thing tomorrow night is to avoid defeat.
It's a must-not-lose game rather than, must-win. A win would be great. Everyone's feeling good. A win the other night as well keeps the momentum going, and like you say, we want to win the game. It puts us in the best possible position. But like you said, if you want to label it, then it's probably must not lose.
In terms of team selection, expect to see the same back three that played against Moldova, whilst John McGinn, Callum McGregor and Billy Gilmore will likely make up the midfield. Nathan Patterson will of course miss out, so Stephen O'Donnell will come back in the right back role. But Patterson had a hand in the goal at the weekend. He's going to be Scotland's right back for years to come, according to Steve Clarke, and he can be proud of his performance.
Read the game, was on the front foot and managed to get the ball, and we just broke forward and got the goal. I thought I scored myself, but I was running off celebrating, but Dykesy got the goal, so I was happy with that.
So all eyes now turn to Vienna, where it's a must-not-lose game for Scotland on their road to Qatar 2022.
Okay, give me your prediction. What do you think? Is it going to be Scotland a win against Austria? I'm toiling on this one. I must admit, I'm having to think long and hard about it, whether we're going to get what we're looking for there. I'll tell you what, I'm going to go 1-1.
I hope we win, but I'm thinking the same. I don't see us scoring 2 goals. I don't see us scoring 2 goals. We're not ruthless enough in the final third. We might get one, maybe try and hang on, but I'll go for 1 each as well. And 1 each would keep us in the group. 1 each. Tony?
I'll go against him. I'll say 2 each. I think they create
it's not exactly going against them,
no,
is it?
They wouldn't score 2 goals.
Okay. I thought you were going to say 2-1 Scotland there.
I think they'll create enough chances to score goals, and the other day they never went in, the luck's got to change. So I think whenever you don't put them away, the next game you've got an extra bit to put them away. So 2-2 I'll go. Yeah,
okay. Well, give us your thoughts on it. Can Scotland get the win that they require? Will that just galvanise us? Will we all start to get the Ali's Tartan Army attitude out and think about the World Cup in Qatar? I know Tam is desperately hoping that we get the mystery machine out with the cameras and head out there with Ruffy to Qatar. I don't think your complexion can stand Qatar, to be honest with you.
I'd beetroot when I come back.
You'd make a right good go of it, wouldn't you? And of course, listen, as ever, we always like to, on the programme, when we get any special guests, and we like to clobber their gear, but he's worse than you, by the way. He's just gone full tilt.
He's been inspired, it's nice to be tracking it.
Well,
I'm just trimming enough for that now, but it's nice.
There's nothing, you would, if you come in here with that, you'd get absolute pelters.
I'd be like cycling shorts on me.
Thought I'd do a wee gym session before I came. So.
It's nice,
Sure, Tony. Anyway, apart from that, well, lots to talk about. I want to talk about yourself and Motherwell as well, because here's a chance for you to win this signed Tony Watt top. And we have given away a Motherwell top recently, Tam, but this one's been signed with Tony. And the reason why I'm not turning it around is basically it's got his number on the back, and all you have to do is subscribe to our YouTube channel and just basically type in there Tony Watt's number, and we'll pick out a lucky winner at the end of the week. So, straightforward stuff. Motherwell's top there, signed by Tony. What's his number at Motherwell? And if you can put that down and hit the subscribe button on the YouTube channel, we'll be absolutely delighted. I make no bones about telling, I'm not going to be two-faced about it. We all gave our predictions at the start of the season. I had Livingston to be relegated and Motherwell to be in the playoff, and now
Peter,
it's looking, I know, it's looking grim, because quite simply it's just starting to click. It's looking good.
Aye, we've got something in the squad where we do get results. Tam will tell you, the first game of the season we were hard done by with the Hibs game.
It was a good game, aye.
And that's probably the best we've played in terms of all-round play. And then we thought, right, we'll just get a bit more stable. And now we're starting to grind results out. And no, we've got a knack for getting points, and hopefully we can continue to do that. Our aims are always to be as high up as possible, but you've just got to take it one game at a time. I know it's the old cliche, but there's some tough games coming up. We've got Aberdeen, Rangers, I think Ross County in the middle of that, and I think Celtic maybe start October. So this year, like I said, all the squads are getting better. There's no easy games, but getting 7 points out of the first 4 games is very good for us to start, because it's going to be tough. There's got to be teams that go on bad runs, and there's got to be teams that go on good runs. So hopefully we can just be consistent and kind of ride it out over the season and get as many points as possible.
Yeah, I mean, we do it at the start. We do it at the start of the season when we've looked at pre-season games as well. And I actually started to get worried, and I thought, "Oh, Motherwell are going to be toiling, Tam." But you know,
it was the Airdrie game I watched, and they went for about I thought maybe 6th or 7th, didn't about 8th or 9th on the back of that game.
It was after the Airdrie game. I thought, "Oh, Motherwell playoffs."
And then against Hibs, I was like, "There's no chance they're going down." So
To be fair though, see the Airdrie game. It's a hot summer's night.
It's the worst part in the world.
On that 4G.
Yeah.
That's not even a 4G, it's a 1G.
Raining, see, I don't even think that's that.
That's a car park, by the way.
See, Livy, I've always been against the 4Gs, but see when we went to Livy, there was a good bit of rain the day of the game.
Yeah.
And it was immaculate. The ball was moving naturally, and that doesn't happen in the 4Gs. You'll know that yourself. But the Airdrie game, see when you pass the ball, you need to volley it into people because it doesn't get there.
Yeah.
Their pitch was shocking.
And it's incredible. You've got somebody it's a cup final, run into the back and the ball's slowing down. It's a horrible game of football, but credit to Livy, their one was actually quite good. And no, the Airdrie game was a blip. It hurts because it's a derby game, but then I hope we've made up for it the kind of 5 or 6 performances after.
Yeah. Tell us about the signings then. Of the signings that the gaffer has made, are you enthused that it's strengthened the squad?
Yeah, I think personally they've been nice lads to start with. There's nobody's really come in and done anything at a turn. Everybody's been brand new. They've put their head down, they've worked. The manager likes a lot of graft for his players Monday to Friday, and the boys have come in and done that, so that's a good bonus. And then on the pitch, they've been slowly getting in the team. Like, I think we've still got a good mix of players for last season plus his new signings, and no, 7 points out of 12 tells you something. And I said that as well, the window's just shut and we've actually done alright while bleeding them in, so hopefully we'll go strength to strength when the boys actually get into their apartments and get out the hotels, get their families next to them, because it is tough when you get to a new place, try to settle in. So no, hopefully we can pick up as many points as possible and see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. And from your own point of view, we mentioned all the clubs that you'd been around, but you know, you're still only 27. You seem to have settled down in this one and thought, great, I've got a club where I can settle. It's got a family feel about it. You're happy in your own personal life as well.
No, definitely. I'm settled. Every transfer window you get people phoning you up, giving you offers and that, but nothing has turned my head away from Marvel just now because I'm happy. And honestly, it's a great club, and I'm just wanting to play football. Like I said, I want to play football. Like, before maybe a good offers came in and good money, or I was explaining to you, there's times where I've been injured or transfer embargoes. You wouldn't be, when I write a book, you'll have some stories. Do you know what I mean? It'll be amazing. I think everything's done something for a move for me, but no, I'm settled. I'm happy, and there's been times where I had to go, or it was just too good to turn down or that. But now the only focus is football, because that's all that matters now.
Yeah, see that point that you're making though about you want to go and you want to get regular games, and the stats are backing that up at Motherwell. Sometimes, Tam, and I'll get your thoughts on it in a minute, Tony, but sometimes there is a moment in life where you are defined by it. And before, I always thought people looked at Tony Watt and he was defined by the Barcelona game. Whereas now I don't think that's the case. I think you're now at a situation you say, oh, Tony Watt's playing well, good player, always had the ability to score goals.
Yeah, definitely. Tony's probably sick of people talking about the Barcelona game, but now he's at Motherwell. He's putting in performances consistently, and as you said, he's now recognised he's a Motherwell player, he's a good player. You know, he's one of their best players at Motherwell. You know, and he's playing every week. Rather than I was the same, hopping for club to club, and you're a journeyman and you're this and that, and you're not fulfilling your potential and stuff. But Tony seems to be, 27 years old. He's still a young boy. He can play at Motherwell. He can still get a move from Motherwell, no disrespect, if he keeps playing well. But he's happy at Motherwell, he's playing every week. That's the main thing. You don't want to be earning big money somewhere and sitting on the bench or sitting in the stand. He's playing every week, he's enjoying his football. He's settled off the park, so that's everything must be brilliant for him. Yeah,
did you view it as a weight on your shoulders, that goal?
No, I think, I spoke to my wife about it many times, but I think people take me more serious the longer you've been at a club. I said to Stephen Robinson when I was signing, I said, look, I want to do 2.5 years minimum, because everything else has been a year, 6 months, 18 months. I said, I want to do 2.5 year minimum, and obviously there's times where you're like, maybe this isn't going well or blah blah blah. But I think the best thing for me is being here for, obviously last season, having a full season under your belt and still being here. I think it is huge for me because I'm learning. I'm 27. Till the day you stop playing, you're going to be learning, and you know that time you're not 30 and you know everything. So it's good for me to be playing games and be happy, and I can't complain at all about the club. They've been brilliant with me, and people do take me more serious now because I've played for a period of time at this club, whereas I could have probably played 18 months, ran out my contract before I signed a new one, and went away and played somewhere for a year and just chased money. But it comes a point where you want to just play and you want to make something, and it actually feels as if I'm not leaving a legacy on Marvel, but they're getting to see me, maybe not in my prime, but me close to my prime. It's good to kind of share that with them because they're willing you on, and anytime you play, they sing your name or they give you good praise, and it is a family club. You're close enough with them that you get to see that, whereas maybe other clubs you're maybe a bit of a bubble and there's a big separation, whereas here it's a club that does a lot of stuff for our fans and they get repaid.
Yeah, absolutely. And listen, long may continue, and I hope they get to see you at your prime banging in the goals. Just on that point, if ever there was a person like yourself that will be able to pass down to young players that learning curve that you had, because the goal that you scored was special, but young players sometimes have that feeling as if they've made it. You know, when they get in, you know, it could be a Nathan Patterson. The hype around Billy Gilmore was unbelievable. You know, and sometimes players can, you know, I mean, I can remember the clamour at times for Michael Stewart's signature. Everybody wanted Michael Stewart. And sometimes there's a sliding doors moment where it doesn't go according to plan, and, you know, you're the perfect person to pass that on.
I think at Celtic, I was never a regular starter. So see, when that goal went in, people thought, he's played 100 games at the club and he should be here.
Yeah.
Whereas I went for being a bench player to being the name on everybody's tongue, and it was like a kind of smoke and mirrors, wasn't it? It was like everybody expected me to go and play 100 games after that, but I started maybe 4 games after that, 5 games. It's not like I was ever... There was always players on big money who were guaranteed to start before me. I was playing well, and then you'd have Miku starting the next game, or Lasad, and I'd be in the stand, and I was thinking, wait a minute. It's not based on how you're performing, it's based on that. And I said, look, I want to go. It was my boyhood club, but I said, get me out here. I'm not sitting wasting my best years in the stand. And obviously it does take a bit of, I don't know, a bit of pride to say, I want to play, I want to do this. And I could have been patient and maybe worked my way in the team, but I just felt for the best for me, for my head, for my own sanity, that I didn't get away from it, because Celtic there is a lot of pressure and there's a lot of standards to be upheld, and I just couldn't sit in the stand and watch people just walk in the team and play, and that was just off my own.
Yeah.
That was my decision I made, and I still believe it was the right decision, and I don't regret leaving Celtic.
You've been there, Tam, haven't you?
Yeah, listen, if you're not playing, there's no point in wasting your time.
Yeah.
You know, as when the clubs maybe I've been at, and I've not been playing, I've just thought, listen, Falkirk was at Falkirk with Big Yogi and Anthony Stokes and Alan Gow, the 2 strikers. Anthony Stokes went to Sunderland for 2 million. He scored 15 goals in 13 games for Falkirk, and Gowser went to Rangers. And I was just sitting watching them, and I couldn't, there was no chance of me getting a game. So I went in and seen Big Yogi, and he nearly ripped my head off. And I said, I wanted to leave. I said, Yogi, there's no point in me, but you'll get your chance. I said, I'll not get my chance, I'm not going to break into the team with they 2. And I went to Dunfermline. And so that's just, sometimes you've got to make a decision, a football decision, where you think, I'm not going to get a game here, I'm wasting my time.
It becomes a life decision, doesn't it? Because you're not playing and you go home.
And it affects you off the pitch as well.
See everybody happy because you've won, and you're, I want to play, I want to do this, and you drive yourself crazy. You need to sometimes exit it for your own selfish point of view.
Yeah, well, listen, if there's a lot of young footballers watch the programme, and it's a great learning curve. Tam, on a regular basis, offers that advice, and Tony's the perfect man, and easily approachable on topics like that. Ruffy, not really good to talk to Ruffy about things like that, because, as he said, he was never on the bench, never in the reserves, played in 3 World Cups. It's just a big custard pie. He can't relate to it at all. No. So, and for those who have been asking, where's Ruffy? I think he's still on the beach. It's still amber in Portugal, but he's hoping he'll be allowed back in, Tam.
He's going to come back. Like, remember something about Mary? Remember the woman with
Ben
the
Stiller.
fake bake?
Yeah, exactly. I have to tell you, he sent a photograph on Facebook of him just sipping on a cocktail Tony, which is, there's nothing worse than somebody taking a holiday when the season started. Anyway, apart from anything else, what's changed about, you know, when you played, you know, back in 2012 as a youngster, has the game changed in Scotland? Have you seen an improvement? More Scottish players? Is there something that you've seen a change since you come back in?
No, I don't think so. Probably is more Scottish players, and I think the standard of the Scottish players are probably going up, because before it was the national team was more English-based players and Celtic and Rangers, but now there's a chance for everybody to get in there, and a lot of people are going for moves, a lot of young talent coming through, your Tierneys and stuff, Robertsons. No, I think up here it's a good breeding ground.
Yeah. You said something before we come on here, and I'm going to listen to this, because when I was realising you were coming on the programme today, I actually looked at, and I was reading the papers and the sports pages on the Sunday, sitting down, and I saw this little section that says Ronaldo, and it was his, basically his nutritionist, fitness coaches and all of them, and the nutritionist said he eats organic and natural foods, expensive ones at that, but it's fish, it's chicken, it's veal, it's eggs, it's avocado, it's coconut oil, it's black rice. The aim is protein, cut out sugar, fats and carbohydrates, which obviously I'd think somebody cut my throat.
There as well.
You know, and I'm like, oh no. But when I looked at it, I thought, now, he's not even on this level. He is way above even the best of footballers.
But
I mean, it's unbelievable.
All the food he'll have will be perfectly balanced, but it'll all be lovely, and it'll be the best cooked, and it'll be like dining in the Michelin star every single night. So he won't be, if we make ourselves boiled rice and chicken, it'll be disgusting, but his will be perfectly cooked, and he's...
Yeah, but the point I was going to make was, you mentioned that you changed your attitude to how you train.
No, I've always been alright, I've always trained well, I've always slept well, but now I try and do specifics. I try and get to bed at a certain time. I try and eat at certain times. I try and replace snacks with certain things, and for instance, if instead of fizzy juice I'll have sparkling water and diluting juice, or instead of having a bar of chocolate or something, I'd have like a protein bar, or just small tweaks. And no, it works. And obviously I read a book called Atomic Habits, and see, just adding sessions in every day, even if it's like 20 minutes, 30 minutes every day, and just to make sure you do them. So if every Monday I go in the gym and do a certain thing, every Tuesday I do a certain thing, the night before a game I'll do 50 pull-ups, just so that it's there and your body's just getting little bits, and it works. I feel it works anyway. It's the fittest I've ever been. And
yeah, over and above your main training sessions, it's just one little addition. Yeah,
just small. Honestly, you could go in the gym and do 100 press-ups or 50 press-ups and go out and still doing something. It's instead of just walking out, do you know what I mean? And it just, I think it helps you physically, but more mentally, it tells you, oh, I've done something there. I can go and have, like for instance, yesterday I was going to my wife's mum's for food, and I went and done a 30-minute spin bike before I went, because I thought, if there's a dessert on the table, I can go and do it, because I've just cancelled it out. And just mentally, because the dessert's actually not going to do anything, because my diet's good enough. But then if I do that, I won't worry about it mentally, because I can tell myself, oh, I've earned that. And it's just small things to change your mentality.
That's what we're going wrong.
We need to go and buy 2 spin bikes.
Get one of the pelotons. And we'll FaceTime each other.
By the way, can I just say something to you? As soon as you started talking to me and I'm breathing out my back end, I'd be like, switch it over. You know.
No, you don't need to switch it off. Turn it down and put a towel over it. Kid on, you're doing it.
Yeah, exactly. The spin bike, brilliant. Anyway, listen,
tell you what, he's looking trim, but he's looking fit.
Oh, he's looking great, and it's great.
Working for him.
When you actually, and the proof is in the pudding, and I look at, players now, and you only have to look, Stephen Davis, playing beyond his 30s, looking in great condition as well. Scott Brown, great example of it.
The groundsman said that to me today. Paul, genius at Marble, the pitch amazing. He said to me, I've seen people saying about Steve Davis' age. He said, do you see the old firm? 85 minutes, running up, taking the ball off people and playing a through ball, and sums him up. He doesn't stop, but he also gets the head up and he's not tired for the quality, and he must be doing something. He's got how many caps for Ireland?
Over
still
100,
playing at Rangers, winning titles at whatever age he is.
Yeah.
It's amazing to see. Like, you see people in your cell time, your body starts hurting at a certain age, and he's just going for strength. He looks as if he's timeless.
He's another guy that I would love to actually just sit down with him and say, okay, what did you do at this point in your life? What did you change? What are you eating? What is your training regime? You know, because I think that's a golden nugget you've just given us there for young guys.
I'll get a golden nugget for Scott Brown.
Go on.
Bruni says when he's out, Bruni likes a beer, he likes a pint and that. He says when he's out and drink, he doesn't eat. I says, what do you mean? He says, if I'm drinking and I'm drunk or whatever, and I'm starving and wanting a curry or a kebab or something, he says, I'm not eat. He says, I'll not eat till the next day.
Yeah.
So he does, when he's on a bevy session, he doesn't eat anything.
That'll be him sweating out then.
I
I think he's cut down on the booze as well.
Aye,
but the lower
he's cut down on it. He does like a pint now, but when he doesn't eat.
I heard when Rodgers came in,
Aye.
that was part of the conversation they had, and you seen when Rodgers came in, Bruni just went like that from strength to strength, and it looked as if he'd went back 5 or 6 years as well. And even now it's
He's ripped.
even now it's you can still see I don't know what age is Bruni, you'll know, won't you?
36,
36, 35, 36.
I think the way the game's going and the way he's bought into stuff, he's similar to Davis. They're still going strong and they still look. Brown's went in and improved Aberdeen massive, went he?
Yeah, I have to just obviously, you know, for safety reasons, if you're just an amateur footballer, have something to eat. Don't just listen to Bonzo and Bevy and then have nothing to eat because suddenly you're going to be hammered. Do you know what? Honestly, for all his positivity, you had to come out with that line. But nevertheless, everything in moderation, depending on the footballer you are. But it's just one of those great insights into players who want to have longevity. And, you know, listen, 30, 40 years ago, you got to 32, 33, you were finished. Not now. Lots of players can play well into their 30s, late 30s as well. And I have to say, Tam, I'm really looking forward to it. I've managed to get myself a ticket for Ronaldo's return for Man United.
Are you going to it?
I'm going to go and see him against Newcastle because I just think, you know...
You're a Liverpool fan?
Well, I know I'm a Liverpool fan, but I just thought it would be absolutely great to see one of the world's greatest players, you know, coming back for Manchester United. It would be sensational. You know what I like? I love football.
He's injured.
Eh?
Hope he's injured.
No. you're a moron. But it would be, I mean, it'll be fantastic. To be fair, by the way, I mean, we're talking about his diet, but as a player, Tony, I mean, this is one of the guys that I think once he's finished, I think people will look at his stats. We've argued over what the top 5 greatest players. Mine is always Pele, but it's generational. But Ronaldo's a machine.
Do you see the video of him, the movement? I can't remember who put it up. I retweeted it and then made a laugh about him taking his top off after he scored. They couldn't get it off quick enough. But did you see the movement?
Yeah.
Goal against Ireland.
He went in against the centre back, like kind of came off, brushed against him, back out, moved, ball didn't come in. It was a 20-second clip and you can do a lot of movements in 20 seconds. And he comes across from head to goal, and you're thinking, that's not luck. What he does, and he's always switched on, always alert. His finishing's brilliant, and he used to be a sand dancer.
Yeah,
that's how you used to say, get the ball, step over, and that. Let's everybody else do that. Now he gets in the box, and him and Messi's numbers are sensational. The level they're doing it at. I know Pele. You'd see that people would say Pele played against this, that.
He counted bounce games for his goals.
He did count bounce games. That's the only thing that puts me off him a little bit, friendlies and that. But see Messi and Ronaldo's numbers, it's incredible. Like, I seen a stat, you'd need to play, was it 15 years and score 50 goals a season to get Ronaldo's numbers.
They average 45 goals a season or something.
Yeah. Oh, listen, you cannot take it away from the boys. That's why I think, I mean, the last time I saw Ronaldo play, obviously he get battered because Nakamura hit the free kick over the thing and arguing in the press conference. I fell out with Alex Ferguson. He's shouting at me, but Nakamura scored. But Ronaldo was just. In fact, I tell a lie. It wasn't the last time I actually was in the press for Man United against Barcelona.
The final.
In the final, and he was in Rome, and he was great there as well. But Messi was just sensational. But you're right, the numbers they're putting up are sensational. And for the benefit of a lot of our older viewers, and just for the benefit of Tony and Tam, Pele scored 2 goals in the World Cup final in a world-class side at 17. I just want you to think about that. Can you imagine trying to get into a side that's full of world-class players and you're only 17 and you score 2 goals in the final? I rest my case. Anyway, apart from that, talking of Brazil, the whole football world, it goes from the sublime to the ridiculous. Brazil against Argentina. I mean, they come on, the medical team, and say right away, government officials, you three guys have broken the protocol, game over.
I'm quite glad I get called off. I got made watch a TV series with my missus yesterday. I was gutted I missed it. And no, it was incredible. I seen the scenes on Twitter, and they threatened it a few hours before. I seen that on Twitter, and
yeah,
I just think, like I said, everybody's tuned in to watch it. Unfortunately, myself, I wasn't. But after 10 minutes, could they not have went to the hotel 2 hours before and said, "Look, don't play these"? I think Argentina must have knew they're getting the 3 points if they try and deport them. But I think the CONMEBOL, is that the organisation like the FIFA's and UEFA's, they said there's a strict rules. Players come in, do their tests. I think it's 72 hours, and then they're free to play.
Yeah.
Every country must adapt it, and because they're all in their bubble, so they're not really mixing with people, and then for them to come on the park and storm that, it's just sheer stupidity. And I think Brazil will be the ones that lose out. I think they'll lose the 3 points for it.
Yeah, well, now, I mean, Tottenham, I think, are going to fine 2 of their players for it. There's a suggestion of, falsifying documents to enter the country illegally. But even if there was a sniff of it, Tam, just don't go.
Yeah, I don't understand why they've went. As I said, Tony said there, it was a shambles, but I had a tenner on 0-0, so I was happy.
Listen, before we go, there's a couple of things I want to get the thoughts of Tony and Tam on, and one of them I think is, more often than not on the programme, sometimes we delve into things that leave you absolutely bewildered because of moronic behaviour, whether it be here in Scotland or the UK or across Europe and world football. But there are lots of good stories out there and positive ones, and I think this is a great one, which is basically a Hearts fan, Alan Patterson, and his cousin Daniel Simpson want fans to pay tributes when Hearts play Rangers at Ibrox on October 16th, and this is of course for Zalewskis, who played for Rangers and Hearts. They've been in contact with MND Scotland for a fundraising opportunity for the fans of both clubs, which I think is brilliant. And they want the players to line up with the names of 2 players on their shirts, of course, Fernando Rickson and Marius Zalewskis, which I think is brilliant.
Fantastic. Listen, football fans at times, as you said, they blow your head apart, but this is fantastic. I mean, MND Scotland is a fantastic cause. MND is a horrific disease. These 2 guys have succumbed to it very, very early in their life, and I think any support for that is well appreciated by MND Scotland. So I've got to take my hat off to Alan Patterson and whoever's doing it with him, Daniel Simpson. Brilliant, well done, and they hopefully raise a lot of money. Yeah,
these are the positive things that I think more often than not, we sometimes, because of the rise of social media, Tony, have become bogged down with the moronic element who tend to grab the headlines. But there are lots of really good things like this.
I was just about to say that. I think there's 10 times more good people than bad, but good stories don't sell newspapers, do they? And these idiots get seen as tarnishing football fans, but people like this are the reason why you actually love interacting, you love playing the game in front of them, because that's an amazing gesture, and fair play to both for them.
Yeah, that'll be an emotional one, and great as well, especially if you've got the names on the back of the shirts. And then what you do, you get them signing them, and then you raise a lot of money for MND, which is absolutely brilliant. Who's the best shirt you've got in your collection? Because this is the good thing about.
He's got a few.
No, this is the good thing about having him on, by the way, because he's got the same mindset as myself.
Yeah.
We're in a race against each other to see who's got.
I'm still waiting on my wee present for you. I won't say what.
Well, no, you can, because it's all right for Tam. He's been nailing me. I said to Fergie, we want a shirt for you, because it would be great. But then he kissed the badge, Tam, and then he bolted. So
he's done a mercenary job. He was away for Merdo.
Yeah, so we're on. Don't worry, we're on his case, by the way. But you've got a few. Who's the special one?
The best one I've swapped is Pirlo. He signed it last 16. I get brought in for the last 15 minutes or something. And
did you just go and mark him?
30 seconds left. I thought, I'll mark the sitting midfielder today. And I chased after him, and I seen the wee player liaison guy outside, Gucci suit on, Dolce Gabbana scarf. I was like, big man, take it in and get it signed. And got it signed. That's up my games room. And I actually bought Messi's top. Let's get the COA authenticated. See the game he scored 4?
Yeah.
Against Arsenal?
Yeah.
I bought that.
Wow.
Off a guy, I'll keep his name out, but it was a big birthday and he wanted to buy something and he was selling it, and I thought, well, I'll have a bit of that. And it came with the COA, the backstory, everything I got emailed.
Wow.
It was going, so that's my best one. I've bought a Michael Jordan one as well, so they're my top 3 probably.
Yeah, Michael Jordan, you love that. I mean, The Last Dance is another great example of sporting greatness. Pirlo, that's a good standard. By the way, I'm happy with Pirlo as the.
Aye, no, listen, that's a top one. The best one I've got is Gaza. I've got Gaza. I played with Gaza at Boston United.
Yeah.
And, I've got a picture of me and him, and he's signed the back yet. So.
That's good enough for me, Tam. Gaza's just
Aye,
Gaza's magnificent.
Aye.
You know, when you think about his career as well, and a special player, Gaza and Pirlo is up there. Maybe not quite as good as other collections that I know, but nevertheless.
To be fair,
Larsson's got about 25 Larsson strips in there.
To be fair, Larsson will give you that.
Oh, Larsson's good. I mean, you've got to.
I think Larsson's
Ronaldinho,
big fan. I always wind people up on Twitter saying Neymar's above, but
Brazilian Ronaldo. If it hadn't been for the injuries,
another one I wind people up with, but no, another top player. The Ronaldinho one I seen your Ronaldinho shirt for me. That's the colours, that strip, the Champions League badge, the signature. That's your best one.
Yeah, it's.
I can smell a bid coming in.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. About a 5-finger bid.
Yeah, exactly. Well, if you get I was going to say if you get the big move, but never mind. I'm quite happy with you at Motherwell. It's my brother's happy as well with you at Motherwell. Anyway, listen, it's been an absolute joy. Fingers crossed that Tony, you go on from strength to strength. And before you go, it's Aberdeen at the weekend. I mean, I look at Aberdeen and I'm thinking they've made some good signings. Time for them to actually, start to produce.
No, I think they're going to be similar to everybody else. I think they're going to hit a stage where they go and do really well and everybody kind of blends in together. But no, Big Decky Gallagher's one of my good mates, so I'll be kicking him about if we're both selected.
Yeah.
Right, brother, way a bit, I think.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And before you go, I can't let you go without give me your top 3 movies of all time.
Stand By Me, Footloose, a remake.
The remake?
I loved that.
The remake?
Went to cinema myself and watched it when I was at Celtic as a young boy, and I thought,
Not Kevin Bacon?
No.
Wow.
And last one, hard, probably like a Coach Carter or something like that.
Oh yeah, like Samuel L. Jackson.
Aye, Stand By Me is number 1 on its own.
Because of your kid.
Aye, what about you? What's yours?
Oh, The Natural. The Natural, Robert Redford. It's a baseball movie. You've got to see it. It's phenomenal.
Field of Dreams, you seen that?
Field of Dreams is fantastic. But The Natural's up there. Bit of a softie, Tam. I'm going to say The Way We Were. Which was Barbara Streisand and Robert Redford again.
Because she's in it.
That's
it. He's in black and white. I've never heard any of them.
I've not heard any of them.
Hey, calm your jets. The Way We Were. It's a fantastic movie.
What was that, 60s, 70s?
70s.
See, that's my favourite genre. See, the wee romance, teen romance, the teen drama. I think they've got the best stories. So Best of Me, sorry, that's my number 3.
Best of Me is a good one. That is a humdinger. So there you are. You've got The Natural. You've got that, and of course, The Untouchables is up there.
Oh, aye.
Seen that?
Aye.
Sean Connery and Kevin Costner. Yeah. What about you? Have you got 3?
Shawshank Redemption is the favourite of all time.
Yeah.
Top one. Braveheart and Gladiator. I just like fighting.
You must love Scotland. You're buzzing for the Morris game.
Springburn, I just like a scrap.
Exactly. He's the type.
Street number 4.
Exactly. He's the type of guy jumping up on the couch for Scotland with his strip on and everything.
Kilt on.
Let's not knock him for it. Fingers crossed Scotland do the business. Great to have Tony. Good bit of banter. The reason I asked him about it, Tony loves his movies. We love our movies. It's always good. If you want to win Tony's signed shirt there, all you have to do is quite simply tell us what number does he play for Motherwell. It's on the back of this shirt. And if you hit the subscribe button and then in the feed, just give us the number. We'll pick out a lucky winner of that top on Friday. We'll run it on our Facebook page and, of course, hopefully on YouTube all this week, giving you the chance to hit the subscribe button. From Tony Watt, good luck this weekend and for the rest of the season. From Tam McManus and from myself, Peter Martin, thanks for watching.